everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. In today's video, I'm sharing the meaning for the 13th hexagram in I Ching called fellowship. So in order to understand this foundational meaning, let's first take a look at the image of this hexagram. The external trigram is heaven. Heaven is made up of three yang lines, so it's this upward, outward momentum to move. Is generating energy. And the internal trigram is fire. Fire also shares this upward energy because the hot air goes up. So it's meaning that two separate entities, they share the same vision, the same purpose. So they're collaborating and working together in unity to achieve the shared goal. In addition to this image-based explanation, let's also take a look at its prior hexagram because each sequenced hexagram, they're all connected. The prior one, number 12, is stagnation. The ending line is saying, let's overturn this stagnation. It's about nearing the end. So leading to the 13th hexagram, because we use fellowship, we use collaboration with shared purpose, people have more interactions. And because of that, we're able to solve the stagnation problem. So that's the connection between the two. But in addition to this basic interpretation, the true focus for this fellowship hexagram is about the scope of who you unite with, who you collaborate with. Because in a narrow sense, like within our own family, it's actually fairly easy to unite and work for the same purpose because it's family interest based. It's a very narrow scope, self-interest prerequisite to work together. But on the contrast, imagine you work with somebody with totally different cultural, social, economic background. How much more difficult would it be to unite with those people, right? So in order to achieve this broader and elevated sense of cooperation, your prerequisite change from self-interest based to broadly like social standards, moral standard. You're gonna benefit the public and social success. Because the prerequisite change from a very narrow family self-interest base to the broader socially beneficial motive, that's the point of this fellowship hexagram. It's about ignoring your self-interest and work for the broader good. And the broader good motivation will unite people from all walks of life, all different backgrounds to achieve a common good. So a real life example is this global initiative to address like global warming or environmental problems. And the reason we're not able to make much progress is deep down, each participating country, they're still watching for their self-interest. Is, am I going to benefit or lose money from this deal? Rather than being able to elevate and make your decision based on common good. Like, are we watching out for the interests of our generation way later, right? Are they able to enjoy this earth we live in? Because people are very hard to step above from the self-interest level to the broader good level. That's what makes this fellowship hexagram is kind of an ideal state, but realistically it's very hard to achieve. That's also the reason why each line within this hexagram has either positive or unfortunate result. It's because is this line more aligning with this broader social good standard, or is it more aligned with a narrower self-interest standard? That will determine the positive or negative connotation for each line. So let's look at the first one. This first yang line, I'm in a very lower social hierarchy. I don't have much power, kind of a inexperienced person, right, entering into the world. But because I'm able to openly and sincerely treat other people, step outside of my own door, meaning that I'm not only watching for my own family or myself's interest, I'm able to go out there, trying to connect with people with an open heart and being very genuine. Because of that, in return, I get a lot of friendship, people who are willing to help me, because those are built on like a very kind of mutual, non-interest based, open and genuine relationship. That's why it's mutually beneficial, which will lead to a kind of not good or bad, it's kind of a neutral result, because you're able to be open without any arrogance, judgment, or self-interest promotion. Moving up to the second line, typically this line would have a positive result because not only is the in line sitting in the in position, but also it's in the middle position. Those are all good positive signs. However, the result for the second line is actually negative. It's meaning you're gonna incur regrets, humiliation, or put yourself in a difficult situation. What's the reason for that? It's because the second line only correspond with the fifth line, right? That's because both are in the middle position. It's going against the meaning of this hexagram. You're supposed to unite with all broader people for common good. But this guy, I only connect with the guy in power or within my kind of circle of influence or people I know or share a similar background. Because of this narrow scope focus, I'm going to incur difficulty. That's the reason for the negative result. So if you land on this line as your primary answer, what should you do? First, be self-aware, knowing your tendency to do this very narrow-minded connection, only connect with people you know or care about. Try to fight against this natural urge and force yourself to broaden your social connection, especially people who are different from you, because you're able to see the commonality of a kind of a higher level, social level purpose to unite you with somebody so different from you. If you're able to link to that direction, you can, on a human level, reduce the severity of the negative result. Moving to the third line, this is a negative answer as well. The reason is I have very self-motivation to force people to collaborate with me because I need to grab everybody else to work for my own goal, my own self-interest, promoted purpose versus uniting everybody to work for a common good. And because of that bad motivation and hidden hostility, because I'm forcing people to versus naturally attracting with openness, right? That's what's gonna bring danger to me. And the thing is, this guy is like, he's smart enough to see the surrounding is not beneficial for him because he's fighting with the fifth guy, which has more power, more talent, more competency. So his chance of winning is very low. So I have this desire to advocate for my self-interest, but I'm also not stupid. I understand I'm not capable to fight with other people who are more fighting for a higher level good. So in that case, I retreat, I'm hidden. I'm in a kind of a reserved spot. I'm watching for the chance until 3 years or multiple years later is my time to move. But the reason for his non-action is not because he realized how bad the motive is. It's because he realized it's not practical to move forward. So he still doesn't have this higher level enlightened awareness of why what he's doing is wrong. That's why it's still bringing this risk of danger for the situation. But in contrast, the fourth line, even though this guy is also trying to initially promote for his self-interest, but he's smart enough to know that ooh, I watch my surroundings, is not beneficial. So the initial spot are the same for the third and fourth line. But what sets the fourth line apart is he's smart enough to have this flipping of mindset. I'm like, oh, the situation is bad, and the reason for this bad condition is my incorrect motivation. I have the wrong intent. I'm trying to force people to unite with me for my own good. That's really bad. I need to change my mindset to unite people organically through a common good that everybody will benefit from it. Because of this mind shift, it's able to change a bad situation from good. That's why the fourth line's end result is positive. And moving to the fifth one, this is the guy in charge, in power, and have this elevated vision for common good. That's why it's a competent leader advocating for everyone's benefit. So you're naturally able to inspire everyone to work together to reach victory. You're able to reach your vision. So this is a very positive one. But moving to the final line, this is the ending stage, saying that at the end of the day, this common good can be achieved to this fifth line's level. That's already a big success. If I want to even progress further and truly eliminate all parties' self-interest to zero, that's almost impossible. I realized that that's like idealistic state versus a practical state. What should you do? You should probably just respect the natural stage of not able to reach the extreme achievement and retreat, pull yourself back. Make sure you're not entangled with any particular party. Rather, you remain impartial. You're just observing everybody from an objective outsider point of view without getting involved, so that you don't go backwards, right? Negate on the success you have achieved. It's more like I accomplished what I could possibly do. Now it's time for back off. Don't get overly entangled. This is how I can preserve my success. But being impartial doesn't mean it's a super positive outcome, right? Because you're not able to achieve that ideal state. So that's why this line's result is kind of a neutral answer too. It's not super positive. You cannot move forward and upward, but it's not negative either, because psychologically you can be happy in a calm and happy stage because of your non-involvement to respect and not disturb the evenness you have created so far. So that's kind of the overall explanation for the 13th hexagram called fellowship. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.